Alright, so I'm going to attempt to walk through cutting this faceplate out. I've got a cutting wheel I'm going to be using, a metal one with very fine teeth, very thin. I'm going to attempt to use, I also have a couple of other cutting wheels, a hand saw with a nice dive tip to it, a X-Acto knife, a couple other implements of destruction. Primarily, the only thing I'm going to be doing here is the very easy cuts around here, the more difficult cuts up here, where we will encounter the actual skate helmet that this is based on. I do apologize, I am wearing a mask. We have several lights on in this room, and it's about 100 degrees outside, so I will do what I can with the mask on and the camera running and all these lights on. And I apologize if you can't hear or see something, because I'm going to move this to be most advantageous to cut it, not necessarily to view it. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to try cutting along these top edges first, and then see where it goes from there. So sound's going to get all nasty when we cut on all these power tools, but I'm going to go ahead and use this is my Dremel with the extendable, flexible end on it here. This is almost a must if you're going to do costuming like this, because you can really get a nice, fine movement from this as opposed to holding the entire tool. So here we go. Hopefully you can follow along on this. deep in that padding. As you can see, we're way up in this section of the padding up in here. So we have not come down to where we're into just the fiberglass. It's still a little burnt rubber, so I think at some points we might be hitting the helmet. At others, it's kind of hard to tell how deep we are. So I'll run through it. Attempt to cut again here. I'll do the other side. Feels like we hit an air pocket between the fiberglass and the underside because the saw blade went in very easily right there. We'll see when we get the rest of it off. These curves, depending on how tight they are the hardest things to do. Alright, so that's the first cut across the top on both sides down to here. I was going to say the hardest thing is to make some of these curved lines because you have a very flat, round disc, so you're very limited. It's sort of your turn radius. The sharper lines are a little easier. You go just across a little bit and then fill those in with putty, should be no problem. Obviously, this isn't separated in any way, shape, or form because we haven't gone through that foam, so that's very connected. But next, we'll go ahead and cut some of the other lines where you can see the blade a little easier.